يماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. اللهم صل على محمد فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه، فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي، فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه، فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت عليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا أخي ووصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وهامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، ويؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيعة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. فقال جبرائيل: يا رب أتعزلني أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيعة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد عزل لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله: عليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء، فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه، ولا مغموم إلا كشف الله غمه، ولا طالب حاجة إلا تجلى وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
اچھا اس کو میں فکس کر رہا ہوں کیونکہ میرے ہاتھ سے کیا ہوا ہے. یہ میں ہاتھ سے دبایا ہوا ہے نا. یہ دیکھو یہ صحیح ہے, یہ ٹھیک ہے,
مگر یہ ہوا کیا
چلو ٹھیک ہے,
کہ زندان رویا, بدن روح کے ساتھ بچی کا سویا, نہ جاگی وہ عابد نشانہ ہلایا, نہ جاگی وہ عابد نشانہ ہلایا, اور اب مائی کہتے بھی شرما رہی ہے, میری سکینہ کو نیند آ رہی ہے, بانوئے عابد کو بتلا رہی ہے, میری سکینہ کو نیند آ رہی ہے, بانوئے عابد کو بتلا رہی ہے, میری سکینہ کو نیند آ رہی ہے. پر محمد وعلی محمد صلوات. جب نام علی منہ سے نکل جاتا ہے, جب نام علی, جب نام علی منہ سے نکل جاتا ہے, گر کو ہے مصیبت ہو تو ٹل جاتا ہے, گر کو ہے مصیبت ہو تو ٹل جاتا ہے. کیا نام ہے اس نام کے صدقے ہو دبی, کیا نام ہے اس نام کے صدقے ہو دبی, گرتا ہوا انسان سنبھل جاتا, گرتا ہوا انسان سنبھل جاتا ہے, جب اسلام کا نور قاتل کا ملے گا نام لیوا نہ کوئی قاتل کا ملے گا نہ کوئی موجود ہے یا حسین موجود ہے یا صلوات پڑھ دیں محمد بآواز بلند آرزو صلوات
برائے خوشنودی محمد و آل محمد بلند تر صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد
زندان میں جب کہ تو ترے شبیر مر گئے بازو ہلا کے بان میں ناشاد نے کہا بی پدر کے سر سے اٹھاؤ تو سر ذرا باتیں ابھی تو کرتی تھیں آنسو بہا ساکت نفس غضب سرد دست و پا منہ دیکھتے ہی زیست کا نقشہ بدل گیا کس بات زندہ میں جب کہ دختر شبیر مر گئی. فاتحہ. ایک سورہ فاتحہ بغیر جماعت سے اسد بھائی کے خاندان کے تمام مرحوم کو شامل کریں اور حاضرین کے تمام مرحوم کو شامل کریں.
مجلس شبیر خانے میں سکینہ بولی سنو حال بے قصا بابا چلے گئے تھے مجھے چھوڑ کر کہاں بابا اے غش میں عابد بیمارو ناتا بابا اے غش میں عابد بیمارو ناتا بابا گلے میں توق ہے پاؤں میں بیڑیا بابا گلے میں توق ہے پاؤں میں بیڑیا بابا ستمگروں کو ہمارا خیال کوئی نہیں نبی کی آل کا پرسان حال کوئی نہیں نبی کی آل کا پرسان حال کوئی نہیں خوبی کی پرد پہ دروں کے ہیں نشان بابا خوبی کی پرد پہ دروں کے ہیں نشان بابا بندھی ہے میری بھی گردن میرے سے بابا اتر گئی میرے کانوں کی بالیاں بابا اتر گئی میرے کانوں کی بالیاں بابا میرے شفیق پدر میرے مہر بابا زمین پوچھتی تھی اور نہ آسمان ہم کو ستمگروں نے پلایا کہاں کہاں ہم کو ستمگروں نے پلایا کہاں کہاں ہم کو لگایا باپ کے سر کو گلے سے بیٹی لگایا باپ کے سر کو گلے سے بیٹی رکے ہوئے تھے جو مردہ سے شمر کے ڈر سے وہ بین سکینہ کے لب آہی گئے وہ بین سکینہ کے لب آہی گئے سنایا حال زبوں خوب اپنا رو رو سنایا حال زبوں خوب اپنا رو رو کے یزیدیت کے ستم فاش کر گئے بچی تڑپ تڑپ کے اسیری میں مر گئے بچی تڑپ تڑپ کے اسیری میں مر گئے بچی لڑتے ہاتھوں سے تربت بنائے عابد نے بہن کی چھوٹی سی میت اٹھائے عابد نے گلی میں شے کی بضاحت چھپائے عابد نے جگر کو تھام کے دیے دعائے عابد نے ایک احتجاج ہے ہر دور کے زمانے جو ایک چھوٹی سی تربت ہے قید خانے میں جو ایک چھوٹی سی تربت ہے قید خانے میں سر حسین جو زندان شام میں آیا مجلس کی مقبولیت کے لیے باری دیگر بلند پر سلام پڑھیے گا اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. بانی مجلس کے مرحومین بالخصوص سید سردار علی شاہ، سیدہ خیر نساء، گلزار احمد عزیز بانو، سرفراز علی شاہ صاحب، سیدہ عشاء بی بی، سید صفدر علی شاہ، سید علی اکبر شاہ، سید امتیاز علی شاہ، سید ظفر علی شاہ، سید مظہر علی شاہ، ذکیہ بی بی، آسیہ بی بی، رحیم بی بی، اور اپنے مرحومین کو ذہن میں رکھے سورہ فاتحہ. ایک بوال اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. مختصر سی حاضری جو اسے 3 اشعار فضائل کر دو، 3 اشعار مسائل کی اپنی حاضری مکمل کی. ایک آواز میں بلند صلوات پڑھیے گا اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. جب غمی آنکھوں میں ابھارا آنسو، جب غمِ شاہنی آنکھوں میں ابھارا آئی آواز محمد کی ہمارا تیرا یوں میری آنکھ پہ خالق نے اتارا یوں میری آنکھ پہ خالق نے اتارا اور میرے ہاتھوں کی لکیریں تو ڈبو دیتی مجھے میرے ہاتھوں کی لکیریں تو ڈبو دیتی مجھے گر نہ دیتے مجھے جینے کا سہارا گر نہ دیتے مجھے جینے کا سہارا اور اپنے آنکھوں کے اندر دیکھیے گا کہ آ گئی فاطمہ زہرا مجھے لینے تک آنکھ سے گرتی میری یہ پکارا میری آنکھوں سے ٹپکتے ہی پکارا جب غمِ شاہ درود پر محمد و آل محمد بس حاضری ہوئی دوستوں نے شام صاحب کی اور حاضری مکمل ایک پاواز بلند سے بات پڑھ لیجیے گا اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد ماں کہتی تھی اٹھ جاگ میری جان سکینہ ماں کہتی تھی اٹھ جاگ میری جان سکینہ اٹھ گھر کو چلے کھل گیا زندان سکینہ ماں کہتی تھی اٹھ جاگ میری جان سکینہ بندے جو تیرے شمر نے چھینے وہ دلا دوں ایک سی چادر میں تیرے سر پہ اڑا دوں گھر جانے کا اب ہو گیا سامان اور معصوم تھے گالوں پہ تماچوں کے کنارے، معصوم تھے گالوں پہ تماچے بھی ہیں کھائے، رو رو کے کہا کرتی تھی بابا نہیں آئے، روتا ہے تیرے حال پہ زندان سکینہ، اور اٹھتی نہیں لاکھ بلایا ہے کئی بار، لو مر ہی گئی آج وہ بابا کی عزادار، لب کھول ذرا پریشان سکینہ، ماں کہتی کہ اٹھ جاگ میری جان سکینہ۔ درود پر محمد علیہ محمد۔
ملتے بابا نعرہ تکبیر، نعرہ رسالت، نعرہ حیدری، نعرہ حیدری، حسینیت، یزیدیت، ملک امام حسین علیہ السلام کی ذات بلند صلوات۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔ بانی مجلس اور حاضرین مجلس سے مضمومی ماستے تک فاتحہ۔ یوم ملتے علی ولی کی ذات بلند صلوات۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔ اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ شرف ملا پوری توجہ دینا ہے سرکار ابو طالب کی شان دے شرف ملا پیغمبر کی پرورش کونی، شرف ملا پیغمبر کی پرورش کونی، مثال اپنی جگہ آپ ہیں ابو طالب،
فشار قبر کا ڈر ہے تو ان سے بغض نہ رکھ
سبحان اللہ
فشار قبر کا ڈر ہے تو ان سے بغض نہ رکھ کیوں زمین کے باپ کے بھی باپ ہے بھولتا سر بتلائے کوئی کیسے بتلائے کوئی کیسے کیا کیا ہے ابو طالب بتلائے کوئی کیسے پوری کو جناب سن بتلائے کوئی کیسے کیا کیا ہے ابو طالب بتلائے کوئی کیسے کیا کیا ہے ابو طالب تم ایک سمجھتے ہو تم ایک سمجھتے ہو 14 ہے ابو طالب
محمد والے محمد بلند تر صلوات
مکے دے کافر لوگاں نے نبیاں دے سردار نو قتل دی دھمکی دتی انہاں لوگاں نو سرکار مخاطب کر کے کیڑی گل کیتی ہے نا حسین بھی پوری تو جدے نال اہم کو پڑے مجھ کو مرنے سے ڈراتے ہو اہم کو پڑے مجھ کو مرنے سے ڈراتے ہو تم بھول گئے شاید تم بھول گئے شاید زندہ ہے ابو طالب
جناب ابو طالب بلند تر صلوات
یزید کمینے نے بیعت کا تقاضا کیتا میرے مولا حسین کو سرکار نے ان کیڑا جواب دیتا ہے فرمے دینے بیعت میں کروں وہ بھی سفیان کے پوتے کی پوری کو جو جناب بیعت میں کروں وہ بھی سفیان کے پوتے کی بتلاؤ اسے میرے بتلاؤ اسے میرے دادا ہے ابو طالب سب مل کے لیے سرکار دلات بلند سلام براہ راست شیر سناواں ملائیاں دے دل ٹھر ونجن کتنا ہے مزہ یارو کہنے کا مسیری کو کتنا ہے مزہ یارو کہنے کا مسیری کو تیرے تو خدا کے بھی تیرے تو خدا کے بھی بابا آگا اسلام دے دو درباراں وچ تے دو بیبیاں کھڑیاں رہیاں او ایک دی نبی دی دوجی دی علی ہن دوڑے ماواں دی ایک ترے گھنٹے دوجی 9 گھنٹے تے نروان ہے دے دیاں رہیاں جے سچ پوچھ رہے ہن دوویں زخمی کئی قبر چ روندیاں رہیاں میری سین جا میرے دربار گئی ہے پہلا وین کیتا ہے میرے پیو دا تخت سنبھال دی گئی تے قانون دے بدلا نہیں سین دی حق دینا دے دے تخت تے بیٹھ میرے پاک دعا جتلا سین دی قتل حسین میرے سامنے مہرا لا نہیں او میرے پتر مرتے مسئلہ سا میری دھی پردیس اللہ
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد
برای خوشنودی امام زمان بلندتر صلوات
بار دیگر صلوات
There's a request for a Surah Fatiha, inshallah, for your marhumin and for mine and the Shuhada of Islam, and for these names that I have in front of me, inshallah. Sayyid Sardar Ali Shah, Sayyid Khair al-Nisa, Gulzar Ahmed, Aziz Bano, Safraz Ali Shah, Irshad Bibi, Safdar Ali Shah, Sayyid Ali Akbar Shah, Sayyid Imtiaz Ali Shah, Sayyid Zafar Ali Shah, Sayyid Mazahar Ali Shah, Zakia Bibi, Ashik Bibi, Asiya Bibi, sorry, and Rahim Bibi, Fatiha. بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ حقه ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الحمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين صاحب العصر والزمان خليفة الرحمن إمام الإنس والجان ولعن الله وعداهم أجمعين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا وإن الله لمع المحسنين صلوا على محمد وعلى If we examine the path of the Ahlul Bayt in terms of their ideology and what they attempted to bring to society from day number one, you realize that one thing they truly emphasized on through their ahadith and through their own actions was the concept of balance. When you look at the concept, for example, of free will and predestination, very quickly, a few examples of the idea of the balance of the Ahlul Bayt. We know enough to know that within the Sunni madhab, there are two different ideologies. One is Ash'ari and one is Mu'tazili. The Ash'aris believe in a Jabr or a Jabri idea that we are all majboor, everything is predestined. That everything that we do in this world has already been predestined for us. We're simply carrying out Allah's predetermined plan. There's no free will, no choice in the matter. And these, of course, are individuals that for a zalim, this is a dream come true for them. They can use the dhulm they do against the madlum to say, look, it's not me, it's Allah's will that wishes for me to be a zalim for you. I was chosen by Allah to be the zalim and you the mazlum. They actually believe, and the logic is that every instance in this world is a khalq, is a creation. So getting up and walking to this area or that area or eating or talking or walking or sleeping, all that are different what? Khalqs in this world, different creations in this world. With creation, you have energy, you have time, you have space, all that, of course, is required for every little thing. And because every instance of this dunya is a khalq, there's only one makhluk, that's Allah, thus everything is already predetermined. That's one side. The other side, of course, to kind of counter that was the Mu'tazili. They came in and said, look, if you are obsessed with the khaliqiyat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we, of course, are obsessed with the adalat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But how can you sit there and claim there's ajal and adab, reward and punishment, heaven and hell, if you believe everyone is simply carrying out as a robot a predestined plan? So they went on the other side. They said we are actually completely free individuals. We're so free that we are independent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where Allah, of course, created us, we're on vacation, and said, I'll see you in the day of judgment. You want to do whatever you want to do, insan. I have no say in the matter. So any idea of him being a Razik or a Ghafur or Rahim or Rabb, all that is out the window. We are completely free individuals. Allah and us are independent of each other. Those are the true ideologies. Along come the Ahlul Bayt, and somebody asks, of course, our 60 Imam Ja'far Sadiq, alayhi salatu wasalam. He says, look, which one is it? Are we completely free or are we completely predestined? He says, La jabra wa la tafweed amr bayn al-amrayn. They came and they said that we believe, that the Shia madhab believes in a path down the middle between the two. Neither are we completely predestined, nor are we absolutely free. There are things that are in our control, other things that are not in our control. So they came time and time again to talk about balance. When you look at the same Imam or sixth Imam to talk about hope and fear, khawf and raja. The hadith says that inside of a mu'min's heart there should be so much fear and so much hope that they are what? The exact same weight inside one heart. But we have sometimes extremes in our community. We have those who are so hopeful of Allah that they begin to what? Minimize their sin. And say, look, I'm simply giving Allah a chance to forgive me. Then there are rows and rows of coffins being carried out in the streets of Boston, Massachusetts. Rows and rows of coffins. And every coffin was labeled with one individual who was killed innocently, one individual who was African American. And all the news media outlets said, oh, what a moving tribute to those who were killed. That's a moving tribute. But a taboot in downtown Toronto with Imam Hussein's name attached to it is either bid'at or it's outdated. This is not Karachi, doesn't belong here. These are all things that don't need to be discussed in this day and age. Right? Let me just keep it simple. Keep it as a symbol and as a sign to remind ourselves of Imam Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad wa At the same time, however, the other imbalance is, of course, the idea that let's remove any intellect altogether. We should only talk about the fadal of the Ahlul Bayt in 10 days of Muharram. Our homes are burning, our youth are addicted to drugs, our divorce rates are up, our communities are falling apart, the Ummah is not united. But let's forget about all those issues and talk about just the fadal of Imam Hussein, for example. Imam Hussein himself would say, look, I opened this university of myself so you could solve these problems, not ignore them from the minbar. They have to be discussed. Why is it that every year we have this commemoration, but our homes are not quite getting fixed? Either it's on the end of the minbar or it's the end of the Sama'in who are not adopting what they're learning or they're not being told what should be the solutions. So these two extremes are there, and again, let's adopt the path of the Ahlul Bayt, a balanced approach. So I'll say one statement. Come and sit in the Majlis, learn from Imam Hussein. After the Majlis, grieve for Imam Hussein. It's a very simple concept. Learn from Imam Hussein, grieve for Imam Hussein. And these two together is the heart of Imam Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And if we can adopt this qalbi, aqli approach to Imam Hussein, we would be a lot further than we are today. Please, let's be very careful, especially in sharing WhatsApp videos. I mentioned the khutbah on Friday al Mahdi. I don't know why we need to spread the fire. There's a clip that is causing fitna and fire inside the community. Stop it at yourself. Because 15 homes are on fire because of the clip, don't need to add to 20 more homes by spreading it to your 35 different WhatsApp groups. Doesn't need to happen. You know that the group that I'm going to send it with is going to have ruckus when he hears this clip. So don't send it to them. Fine, they'll get it through their other 84 WhatsApp groups, that's fine. But you don't need to add to that fitna. Right? Not every video is meant to be spread. Not every video has to be reposted, or liked, or redistributed, or retweeted. No, don't need to add to that fitna. Let's be very smart with this social media and this technology business. Okay, let's not be individuals who like to inform the masses. Sometimes that information has to have a logical approach to it. If you look at the idea of the heart and the aql inside of Islam, you know there's a direct link between these two. In Surah Baqarah, I want to describe a little bit of this. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I hope nobody is getting me wrong, inshallah. Please, afterwards, I'm here. Please come and talk to me. You can't miss me. I'm wearing all black. I'm 6'4". You can't miss me. Please come and talk to me. Let's have this culture where ask the person who said it. Another alim says something, and I'm asked why did he? I don't know why he said it. Ask him. He said it. Right? So you wait until a week for the alim to come and you ask about last week's alim. No, ask last week's alim about last week's alim. Right? Not that I'm an alim, but please, any issues, come and talk to me. I'm just trying to understand this idea. I come from from this city, from this community, born and raised in these centers that all of you attend. Never once did I ever have to question, I don't think any of us have questioned the idea of this is bid'ah and why are we doing this, God, and are these not gods? And look at this idea that, look at these Shias, they're just, spray painting red drops on this white sheet. It's weird. Where is this coming from? It's the enemy infiltrating inside of our Azadani. And don't allow that to happen. Keep it simple. Don't allow this to happen. Definitely don't allow the likes of Tariq Fatah to play with your mind and your love for Imam Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now, Surah Baqarah relates the story of Nabi Musa and the cow, a very famous story. As you know, somebody was killed during Nabi Musa's time. They had no idea who killed the man. And the hukam comes down from Allah that you are to find this certain type of cow, take a piece of that cow, strike the mayyat will come alive and tell you himself who killed him. That's about 35 verses right there, inshallah. Quick tafsir. Okay? They cost a problem like that. Right? So then at that moment, however, there are still individuals that didn't quite understand or believe in Allah after seeing this phenomenon. Imagine if you were there during those days and you saw this happen, that a piece of some random cow hits a dead body, comes to life, that dead body speaks and says, Fulan killed me. And all in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now if you say, no, I still don't believe in Allah. Again, verse 73 says, we did all that لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, so you can be amongst the intellectual ones. The very next verse, it says that while you're able to accept this idea of God, ثُمَّ قَسَتْ قُلُوبُكُمْ. Now wait a second now. Discussion was on the aql. Where the heart come into play now? Allah is saying, look, things that you don't understand at the aqli level happen because the heart isn't quite softened yet. So the aql and the qalb are playing a very vital role together. You can't have either one. Both of them make you ashraf al-makhluqat in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A perfect kamil human being is one who's aqli and jazbi at the exact same time. Not the other way around. Allah goes on to talk about the heart in a very beautiful way. He says, ثُمَّ قَصَتْ قُلُوبَكَم مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ. After seeing all of this, the cow bringing a dead body to life, your heart has hardened. And then he says, فَهِيَا كَالْحِجَارَةِ أَوْ أَشَدُّ قَسْوَةً. In fact, your hearts are like rocks. They're harder than rocks. And then he describes three types of rocks very carefully. The imagery of Allah. So about verse number 7. He's describing rocks, but in reality he's describing what? Different types of hearts. He says the first one, إِنَّ لَمَا يَتَفَجَّرُ مِنْهُ الْأَنْهَارُ. Very carefully. From amongst these rocks are those that are hard on the outside, but from within that heart there is a river that's bursting out of that rock. Beautiful imagery. I'll explain each one in a moment, inshallah. مِنْهَا لَمَا يَشَقَّقُ يَخْرُجُ مِنْهُ الْمَاءِ. The second type of heart is that still has water inside of it, but it needs to do what? Shaqaqa. Shaqaqa in Arabic means to split something open. So while there's water still residing in the second type of heart, it requires a third outside variable to come and crack it open, grab a hammer, crack the rock splits open and water comes out. The first rock didn't require that hammer. The water itself, the water itself, cracked the rock by itself. The third one, he says, وَإِنَّ مِنْهَا لَمَا يَحْبِطُ مِنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ. The third rock is that descends, that falls from the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You've seen landslides, have you not? That rocks are now what? Descending, are racing, riding down the mountain. They're falling from their high station down. He says that there are those that fall min khashyatillah. Now what does this mean? The first type of rock are those, and here water of course means iman, not Islam. Iman, a big difference. It's a, mashallah, very intellectual majma. I don't need to explain to you between Islam and iman. You inshallah got the point. But water here is iman. The first type is, first of all, understand, every single one of these hearts is hard on the outside. So Allah is saying, look, it's bound to happen that in this dunya, through your hardships, your hearts will harden eventually. We'll have moments where the heart hardens and the heart softens. There'll be moments where the dunya gets the best of us and we are depressed and angry and going through difficult times. Then there are moments where the heart is softened. And this fluctuation is the reality of the qalb. Qalaba means what? To fluctuate in Arabic. Ya muqallibal qulub, the fluctuator of hearts we call Allah. Muqalliba yani qalaba, from Arabic, from fluctuation. So we go through different various stations in the heart. Sometimes we're hard, sometimes we're soft. The reasons why sometimes, just as a side note, the reasons why there's so much ahmiyat given to the tears of Imam Hussein, because one thing that tears Imam Hussein brings is a sure sign that the heart is still softened to work with for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you strip those tears away and you're left with the heart that you have no idea what state it's in. At least you know when you sit in the gham of Imam Hussein and tears are rolling down, there's still a chance you can still mold that heart towards Imam Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad. But the first type is that no matter how hard the heart is on the outside, that iman is so strong on the inside, it by itself bursts the rock by itself. The sheer pressure of the water on the inside. يَتَفَجِّرُ مِنْهُ الْأَنْهَارِ. Fajra means explosion. Right? In Fijar Nur we call the Islamic Revolution, the explosion of light, right? That comes from Fajra, the explosion of rivers coming from the actual rock. That's the type number one. Type number two is that what يَشَقُّكُ فَيَخْرُجُ مِنْهُ الْمَاءِ. That now you have a second entity to come, hammer the rock splits, and iman comes out. Sometimes our heart has hardened so much, it takes a second entity to come and split our heart open. Either a tragedy, or hajj, or arba'in, or marriage, or a child, or anything else. Sometimes we just need help in getting our heart cracked open, and we end up surprising ourselves that, wow, there's still water inside of my heart. It's not dead just yet. But it took a second instance to come and tell me and shake me at my core and say, look, there's still water inside your heart. You don't see it. Let me help you. Tragedy comes, splits the rock open, and iman comes flowing out of your heart. That's what happens. And that's why sometimes Allah places that tragedy in front of us to what bring us back to Him. Say, look, you're not a dead heart anymore. If it requires me to give you a little bit of a difficulty with your child, or your wife, or your husband, or your mother, or your father, or your job, then so be it. But my purpose isn't to what? Depress you or upset you. It's to show you that your heart still has water inside of it. And sometimes that's what we need. And the third instance is that what? يَحْبِطُ عَنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ. There's no mention of water in the third type of heart. So there's no iman there. It's a heart of a Muslim. It's still there. It falls out of the fear of Allah. But iman per se hasn't really gotten inside that heart. So these are three types of hearts. Understand the heart that you have right now. Understand how much water we have inside. Understand how much water this Farshi Azab brings to your hearts. Allow it to kind of pour in, right? The idea is to use these 2 months and 8 days for the rest of the year. Not a flash moment. We're building our stock for the next 10 months. When we use that 10-month stock, then we rebuild on the first night of Muharram. And that's the idea, right? Our youth ask, do we really need to have 2 months and 8 days? 2 months and 8 days, drag out. If I were you, I would take every opportunity I can to get as much as you can from this Farshi Azab. Don't limit to 10 days, 40 days, 2 months and 8 days. Inshallah, every single Thursday night as well. Remember Imam Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. I'm going fast. I have a lot to say still. Can you imagine? I'm only halfway through my speech. Inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That's the hearts. That's the qalb. Come to the aql. And then inshallah we'll conclude on Masad, inshallah. Aqala, very carefully. Aqala in Arabic means to tie something together. Okay? That's the actual lexical meaning of the aql. Right? These Saudis that wear these foam, or these rubber ties in their head, right? They look all goofy with their, right? Those actually used to be rope back in the day. They used that to tie their camels and their horses back in the day. That was actually rope. Now they use that to tie their Mercedes and their Jaguars, I guess. I don't know what it is. But that's what it is. You used to call the aql, you used to use that to tie. So what's the role of the aql inside of our internal kingdom? We know that the aql is that entity that of course has made us the best creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That separates us from the angels and the animals. That much we know? Excellent. What's the job of the aql? The job of the aql is the CEO of the internal government. We have 4 departments inside of our soul very quickly. We have the power of ghadab, anger, the power of shahwa, desire, the power of waham, creativity, and the power of the aql. Every human being has these 4 departments inside of their corporation. And the corporate structure should look like the aql is the CEO, and these 3 at the bottom report back to the aql. So for example, if somebody makes us angry, the Department of Anger has a quick meeting together. They sit in the boardroom together and say, look, this person made me angry on this date, this is what happened, this is the incident. Who was it? It was my father. Take that report, go to the elevator, floor number 110, go to the aql, say, Mr. Aql, this is our report. This is our report. Our report. And we want to know, do we act on that anger or do we drink that anger? Do we approve or do you disapprove? And they sit there and say, okay, this person said, who was it? It's your father? Disapprove. You're never ever to get angry at your father. Okay? Someone else makes us angry, another meeting happens. Who is it? There was a cartoon that was drawn, let's say, in Denmark against a profitable law. This is what happened, this is what happened. You go up to 110, Mr. Aql, this is what happened. He says, approved, absolutely angry. I'm not talking about the expression of anger. I'm talking about the existence of anger. The expression of anger is a complete different topic altogether. That's a whole different akhlaqi discussion. The existence of anger, as the Aql says, anger, you have every right to be angry. Go and do your angry thing. Why? The cartoon was written. But you have to give it some time. Look, these are things we've heard since we were a child, since I was a child, about this disrespect given to Imam Ali and the war of Khandaq. All of you have heard it? The spitting of the face of Imam Ali. Doesn't matter if you are ma'soom or not a ma'soom. Another man spits another man's face. It's very difficult to hazam that. Why did Imam Ali go for that walk? Again, we use our example. At that moment that Imam Ali was spit on by this mal'oon, they had a meeting. And the meeting was that he spit in my face. And I'm on top of him, I can easily kill him. And all he wanted to do was, Ali wanted a moment for the report to get to the aql department. Maybe the email server was slow. Maybe the elevator is out. Just let the aql at least read the report before you act on your anger. And then the report comes back and says, Ali, remember, this is not your enemy, it's the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So act in anger, but swallow for yourself, or regain for Allah and kill the man. That's exactly what he did. That if I was to kill that man at that moment, I kill him for my anger, not for Allah. Remind yourself, Mr. Aql, he's the enemy of Allah. Kill him fi sabilillah, not for your own path. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala The exact same way, we have departments. I desire this, I love this person, I want to marry her. You have a meeting, you have, what's her name, what is she like, what's her mother, what's her religion? Oh, okay, she's not a Muslim, she's not a Shia, she's this and that, not religious, no family, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Aql, can I marry her? He says, denied. She's the mother of your children, inshallah. She has to have a strong base of taqwa and piety. The blue eyes will fade. The taqwa will remain. I'm sorry. Or I have this, let's say this person, she's muhajjaba, mashallah, she's a Shia, she's a Saydani, she loves her Imam Ali, she's this and that, Imam is Imam blah blah. Should I marry her? Approve, bismillah. Get your nikah done right away. Don't have 8-year engagements. Bismillah, go crazy. Has to go through the aql, has to go through the aql. The problem is sometimes we have our corporate structure flipped. The anger is CEO, bachara, and the aql all the way at the bottom is a junior entry-level executive. Can I have, no you can't have a say in the meeting. You're a junior level entry. Right now it's the anger's time. So anger acts it, and all of a sudden our entire wujud now goes out. Our tongue is gone, our limbs are gone, everything is gone. We're infuriated. When all of a sudden the structure is reformed back, the aql is in charge, we go back to Allah. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. That's when the aql now kicks in and says, look, you messed up, you put me down there, go back to Allah and either say sorry for the person you upset or ask Allah for His forgiveness. The idea is the Prophet of Allah came for insaniyat. He came to do what? He came to inject this corporate structure inside the human race. That your corporate structure should look like aql and 3 departments underneath. And that's exactly what we want to do. That's the role of the aql. Now in there we have to balance out the aql and the qalb. The problem is that the aql is aql that is constantly moving forward. right? You compare the aql of an 8-year-old to an 88-year-old, it's two different things. But the qalb doesn't increase or decrease. It fluctuates between state and state. So the qalb's job is to do what? Is to come and literally tie the qalb to a state that is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they now work together. So my point tonight is a very simple point tonight. And I use the example of Azadari as my base. That we have to approach everything in life on both an aqli and a qalbi level. Right? There is a huge disconnect between knowing Allah and worshipping Allah. All of us claim La ilaha illallah, but we don't feel it inside of our worship. While we understand Allah at the aqli level, it's that qalb inside of us that connects knowing Allah to worshipping Allah. If that qalb is removed, or if that qalb is hardened, then that worship, of course, is affected. That's why Imam Ali says, stand at the gate of your heart and don't allow anyone to enter inside yet. Be very careful who you give your heart to. This heart has a very important role inside of it. Al-qalbu haram-Allah wa la tuskin haram-Allah ghayr-Allah. This heart is the sanctuary of Allah. Don't allow anyone to reside in that heart except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallu ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. And we look at the grief of Imam Hussein, even his grief was wrapped in his aql and intellect. We sometimes have a tough time understanding that was this man even a human being? I mean, he was so focused on his mission. How could he go through in that one morning, the day of Ashura was a morning from Fajr to Zuhr. We lose a loved one loved one, the way that Hussein lost a loved one, and for years we're not the same. This man carried lash after lash after lash after lash from morning to Zuhr. And we often wonder, well, he was Imam Hussein. He could have done that. And we strip the qalbi aspect away from him. We think he was just an Imam who was ma'asum, who was now almost robotic in nature, that he was just carrying. No. On the day of Ashura, he was a brother, he was a father, he was an uncle, he was many things. And every single one had a special piece inside of his heart. And there were moments where it's almost as if he would remind us that I'm just like you. I'm a father just like you are. I have kids that are very young, just like you have kids that are very young. And to my fathers in the audience who have 4-year-old daughters, there's a moment on Asr Ashur, where Imam Hussein now has done his wida with Zainab. Bibi Zainab has mounted him on the horse. He's ready now to fulfill his mission for Allah, and his Zul Janah would not move, they say. And he tried several times to encourage the Zul Janah to move, but he wouldn't move. And then he says to the Zul Janah, I know that you're tired. You've been with me since morning, carrying mayyat after mayyat, shaheed after shaheed. Just one last zahmat. Just drop me in the middle of the Maidan of Karbala, and your zahmat is over. And the Zul Janah doesn't say a word. He simply lowers his head, a tear going from his eyes, almost as if he could say something, he would say that, Mawla, I'm not tired. I'm with you until the very end. And I would love to roar into the Maidan of Karbala. If you can ask your 4-year-old Sakina to let go of my leg, then I can move towards the Maidan of Karbala. Imam Hussein gets off the horse. He sees a 4-year-old hugging the leg of the Zul Janah, that whoever has gone since morning has not come back. Where are you taking my Baba? If you can, my Baba's very thirsty. Take him to Farat and let him drink a little bit of water. If you can, find moments of shade. Let him rest in the shade. Imam Hussein picks up his 4-year-old, hugs her, kisses her, says, I have to go now. I'll say this to you, Sakina. Enjoy that moment. The next time you see Baba, we'll be in the Zindan of Sham, where in the middle of the night, Sheikh Abbas Qummi narrates that Bibi Sakina saw a dream inside the Zindan of Sham. In that dream, standing in front of her is her Baba Hussein. He looks upset. He looks worried. Sakina says, Baba, is everything okay? Are you all right, Baba? You seem worried. He says, you know, Sakina, that no place is por sukun for me until you're with me. I miss you, my Sakina. You're not with me, my Sakina. And he begins to cry and she begins to cry. And they hug for a very long time. Sakina wakes up and begins to cry in the middle of the night. I can smell my Baba. Where is my Baba? He was right here beside me. He's here somewhere. Please somebody help me find my Baba. She begins to cry. Zainab begins to cry. Kulthum begins to cry. The walls of the Zindan begin to cry. Yazid said, what is it? It's the 4-year-old of Hussein. What does she want? Bring the head of Hussein to Sakina. The head is brought to Sakina. I don't know how many of you can picture this, but a 4-year-old looking at the head of her father, she begins to kiss the cheeks of her father, says, Baba, who is it that severed your head from your body? Who is it that made your beard white? Who is it that has zakhm upon your body? She begins to cry, hugging her father's head. Begins to cry, hugging her father's head. Bibi Zainab that morning wakes up for Fajr, and she calls out to Sakina, Sakina, please wake up, Sakina. It's time to wake up, Sakina. But there's no answer from the Zindan. After a while, Zainab says, Sajjad, go see what's happening. Sakina's not answering. Sajjad enters the Zindan, lying there, clutching the head of her father. Is Sakina. Imam Sajjad shakes the shoulders of Sakina, but there is no response. Papi Amma, Inna Lillahi. Bibi Zainab comes running inside the Zindan of Sham. She sees that Bibi Sakina now is lying there. She asks Imam Sajjad, what do we do? How do we bury Sakina? Do we put a coffin on her? And Imam Sajjad says one statement, that Papi Amma, leave the Qur'an behind. There's zakhm upon zakhm upon zakhm. If we take that Qur'an off, it'll take off. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. معطينا حسين.